Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Tourette's syndrome advocate John Davidson shouts the N-word whilst Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo presented an award at the 2026 BAFTAs. Guys, like I said at the beginning of today's episode, white people are back. The actor who plays him in the biopic still won, by the way. This man, John Davidson, he got a movie made about his life, apparently, and he showed up for it. It was called I Swear. I did not know this. The BBC, they issued a formal apology today after viewers of the 79th BAFTA Film Awards, if you don't know. They were left stunned by a series of obscene and highly offensive outbursts captured during the live broadcast. By the way, it's not exactly live, actually. They had about, I can't remember exactly how long the minute delay is, but they had a chunk of time to where they could have, if they chose to, and I'm going to play you the clip, they could have chosen to neglect this part of the actual broadcast because the N-word, while it might be muffled a bit, I certainly can just pick it out of a crowd. If it's a recognizable word, when you hear gently off in the distance of a crowd, even the cadence is recognizable. You go, you know what I mean? I hear that in the distance and I'm like, I assume it's a racial slur. Apparently, he's a prominent Scottish Tourette's syndrome activist. He's the real life inspiration behind the BAFTA-winning film I Swear. Davidson, who was invited as a guest to the London ceremony, experienced a series of involuntary vocal tics that included the strong profanity and, most controversially, a racial slur directed toward presenters Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. Okay, let's, and immediately you're going to hear Alan coming. I'm not a big fan of this gentleman. I feel as though he's hiding something. I don't know. I haven't seen any confirmation that he's at a party with Epstein yet, but he just he serves the vibe. I'm sorry. He was the host or something like that. He was in a difficult position. He paused the ceremony twice to address the audience at the Royal Festival Hall. Cumming explained that the language was a result of a medical disability. Okay, sure. I've known people with Tourette's, and they are not that selective with their language, you know what I mean? If they see two Japanese fellas in front of them per se, you know what I mean? They're not going to scream out Jap. I've known people with Tourette's, and they're not the types to do that. I'm sorry. He's emphasizing that Tourette's tics are entirely involuntary and they do not reflect the intentions or the beliefs of the person. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, they're not even a comedian, so they can't even cover it with, like, they're being satirical. Despite the pre-show advisory from the floor manager and Cummings' graceful handling of the situation, what a great way to word it, BBC. They faced immediate backlash for failing to bleep or edit the slur from the delayed broadcast and subsequent BBC iPlayer. I want you guys to actually hear it so that you know how just startling this was. And I'm going to leave it in the description so you can watch it for yourself. It's very, very, very fun. Let's begin.
Good evening. Joe and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate the artists who expand what's possible on screen.
All right, let's... One more time, ladies and gentlemen, for those who may not have heard it the first time, it's immediately after Michael B. Jordan finishes up his section, and this gentleman picks up after him.
You may have heard some strong and offensive...
No. Alan Cumming, don't address it.
We're delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate the artists who expand what's possible on screen. You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. If you have seen the film I Swear, you will know that film is about the experience of a person with Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologize if you were offended.
Okay, from what I'm hearing, this gentleman, did the right thing and, left afterwards, because after you drop the good old-fashioned N-bomb, unfortunately, many people will say this, he was a Bluetooth speaker that, Middle America sent in there to actually voice the feelings of many people watching from Boise, Idaho, or something like that. Yeah, you know, Trump in office, not even Hollywood can hide from the good old-fashioned N-bomb. Middle America breaking through the Hollywood energy is exactly what it was to me personally. That's exactly what I felt. GMA, do you got anything to say about it that I might not?
Good morning, George. The movie I Swear won big at last night's BAFTAs. Its lead, Robert Aramayo, won Best Actor over favourite Timothée Chalamet. It's based on the life of Tourette's campaigner John Davidson, who was there for the awards, but his involuntary tics are making the headlines.
This man got a biopic made in his honor, and the gentleman who played him in the movie won for Best Actor. And at the ceremony honoring said movie about you drop the N-bomb. What a life you've lived. You've called Michael B. Jordan the N-word at on a worldwide broadcasted. How much can a white guy win at life?
This morning. What should have been Britain's big night to celebrate art and culture, with royalty mixing with the Hollywood elite, instead is mired in controversy this morning. The BBC...
By the way, not a good time lately for the Hollywood elite, by the way. Not a good time for them neither.
Apologising to BAFTA viewers after several obscene outbursts from Tourette's activist John Davidson were heard on a broadcast. Davidson is the inspiration for the movie I Swear, which was nominated for 6 awards and took home the leading actor BAFTA. He was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome at the age of 12. It's a neurological condition that can cause involuntary movements and vocal tics, sometimes involving outbursts of inappropriate language.
I knew a few kids with Tourette's, actually. I knew of quite a few individuals where like they had the same situations where like it was either facial movements, it was like verbal outbursts. There was a few kids where and I'm just gonna say it. Maybe the teachers just didn't know how to handle it back in those days, because I remember distinctly back in maybe 2nd or 3rd grade there was this kid, and I'm pretty sure he had Tourette's, that or he had just something wrong with him. But I remember he just couldn't stop himself from shouting out in the middle of class. He would I remember we were watching Pocahontas in the middle of it, and then he just kept shouting, "Feather monkey, feather monkey, feather monkey," and then the teacher goes, I'm not gonna say his name. Let's give him a fake name. She goes, "Bob, get out of class. Bob, you gotta go sit out in the hall." He had to go sit out with the teacher's aide, and it sucked. It was unfortunate for him. I don't think he meant it, but admittedly, that was a very distinct one to use. I've never forgotten it once in my life, and I'm only using it now for the purposes of storytelling. So folks, I mean, it's one that maybe you haven't heard before in your life, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, and they're an interesting people. They're an interesting people to get to know. I'd say make a few friends of them. There was one individual. He was a really talented singer. He was a performer. I remember I did musical a few years, and he was just a leap across the stage and shit, and he was one of the best performers, and I was like, his condition never held him back. He was one of the best performers they had, and I'm like, if he was able to be one of these people that was able to perform elegantly, speak just amazingly, able to get it under the point where he can recite scripts and whatnot, I don't understand how this guy can't get it under wraps for the most important night of, I would assume, be his life. Personally, you're an activist for Tourette's. Showing up to a movie premiere that is a movie about you is maybe the most that you'll ever have to look forward to in your sad little Scottish life. And he mucked it. He mucked it all up.
Broadcast was while Cinestars Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage.
How much do you not like Sinners? I mean, I was not the biggest fan of it, but he must have hated it to be like, they're up there. Oh, this is my chance. Like, how much do you hate that movie? I get it. I love Dusk Till Dawn. I hated that they stole the plot from it. I hated that it was just a lesser version of it that was directed very artistically and whatever, and that's why it got a bunch of plaudits, and the acting was fine, and the twins shtick was whatever and whatnot. It was fine. It was a perfectly fine movie, but watch Dusk Till Dawn. It's a 10 times better version of it, and it didn't win anything significant that year. I'm sorry. Apparently Salma Hayek dumping liquor down her feet into Quentin Tarantino's mouth. You know he was a big fan of that scene. You know that he was just, never mind. We're not going to talk about his fantasies anymore.
Presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. A racial slur could be heard while the men presented the award for Best Visual Effects. Jordan and Lindo looked startled, but continued on. Alan Cumming later asking the audience for their understanding. You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. Tourette's syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
If you were.
So the big question this morning, why did these outbursts remain on the broadcast when other parts of the event were cut? Like the words of one award winner who said, "Free Palestine," especially when you think that there was a 2-hour delay on this broadcast.
We dropped the Free Palestine. This is how I know that the BAFTAs and Alan Cumming, they are Israel core. Not just because of Alan Cumming's everything, his vibe, his appearance, the way he presents himself. He's very, the peacock of Hollywood type that you normally see, you know what I mean? It's obviously Israel core. The whole thing is goy slop, and you watch it and you're at home and you're going, why would anybody care about this? They were able to edit out the Free Palestine reference, but they were able to leave in the racial slur, because guess what? They knew that this would be a great story to keep in. They knew that this would be a great story. I'm talking about this to start off our episode rather than the Epstein files. It worked. It clearly worked. I'm engaging in the goy slop, literally. But this is just fun, and it's a fun way to hook people that, come watch this from Twitter. It's a good way to get that captive audience, you know what I mean? Because we cover fun shit like this. GMA, do you got any closing words for us?
The BBC has this morning issued a statement apologising that Davidson's comments were not edited out ahead of the broadcast, and they say they will now be cut from the online version and on streaming. You've got to feel for Davidson. He must have been very embarrassed by all this. He left the event, it's thought, early, halfway through.
It's thought.
The BBC had a caught
Yeah. Well, actually, they caught him. They managed to catch him on the red carpet, I believe.
Hello.
The man himself.
Oh, he's so cheery.
The man, the legend, the mouse. It was a pleasure to work with Rob, and when we actually got to see the first the edited cut of the film,
The
I
edited
was blown away.
cut of the film.
I did not imagine anybody could pretend to have Tourette's as an actor than any, and how good he did it. It was fantastic. And I mean, even now when I watch some of the adverts that come on, Facebook and TikTok, and it's
Facebook.
the scene in the library, I can't watch it. Hello.
A scene in the library, he can't watch it. I mean, apparently he's touched, you know what I mean? I'm sure that Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were touched by your words, gentlemen. You're a fun guy. I enjoy that this is a good, you know what I mean, a good shake-up moment for Hollywood. Whether or not you think that this is like I've said, I think this is this guy trying to win at life. I think that he saw an opportunity to be the whitest man imaginable. He got a movie made about him. He was there to he was there to be honored and to have someone who played him in a movie accept an award for playing him. He apparently made so many people emotional that a person playing him was able to get an award for it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely silly. But it's fun, isn't it? It's funny to look at these people and think, man, they're doing a lot better than me. And is it just because they're disabled? Is that really that's this guy's big talent? Is that he shouts a racial slur every now and then without? I don't mean it. I really don't. When I say it, what he did an interview I don't know how long ago, and he goes, "It's ridiculous, quite frankly, when I have to shout the M-word in public, and people just think I'm a racist or something." And it's like, I don't think you're a racist, buddy. I think you're a misunderstood guru, quite frankly, that a lot of people could learn from. And I think you encapsulate a good cultural moment that we could all learn from, that we could all reference and look back on. This will go down in history, folks. It's no Oscars slap, but it's a fun one. It's a fun one, and we haven't had a moment like this in a minute.